Okay, you're making the move to Orlando, or you're thinking about it, and you're like, what the heck does Orlando have to offer besides theme parks? That's all everyone ever talks about is Disney this, Disney that, Legoland this, Legoland that, SeaWorld this, SeaWorld that, and all the other parks in the world. But like, does it have anything to offer besides theme parks? Is that all everyone ever comes here to live? Do people actually live here all year? Well, in this video, I'm going to cover that. I'm going to talk about it and give you everything I know about what else there is to do in Orlando and what it has to offer besides just theme parks and Disney this and Disney that. Let's get into it. What's up, everyone? My name is Cameron Hodge, a realtor here in Orlando. And on this channel, I talk about everything about relocating to Orlando, living in Orlando, and everything you need to do if you make that move. And if you want to be notified of more videos in the future, hit like, subscribe, and the bell icon to be notified every time I drop a new video, which is weekly. Also, days, nights, weekends, we're always getting reaches out to the team regarding moves to Orlando, and we absolutely love it. It's what we do for our life and cannot be happier to help people make that move. So that's you. You're thinking about making the move to Orlando. Shoot us a call, shoot us a text, even an email, whatever you have to do, we have your back when moving to Orlando. So let's be honest, like when you think of making the move to Orlando, some of the first thing that most people thinks about, whether you're obsessed with it or not, is Disney World. You know, everyone's like Disney. And it's, you know, a huge thing for most people. I know my wife is a huge Disney nut, and it's just why Orlando was one of the first things on our map when we thought about leaving California at that time. And a lot of our clients make that move out here as well. And it's kind of like, is there anything else to offer in the area besides Disney? Well, there is. There's a lot going on for the area. I mean, you're in Central Florida. And when I say Central Florida, it's not just like the whole area between Tampa and Orlando. Like Orlando really is in the center of the state pretty much. And you're so centrally located to hit so many different types of living and areas. And like trips are pretty easy to hit everything that you could possibly want. I mean that with full honesty. So, like being here as a family, when we came here, some of the things we experienced when moving here was like Wonderworks, right? If you haven't heard of this place, it's awesome. Like Orlando just has like a lot of quirky places to go visit. And if you come here, or if you're making like a discovery trip, like reach out to me. I'm happy to tell you some of the places we found. So Wonderworks was an amazing place with a family. It already looks weird on the outside. There's so many different science tricks and fun activities for the kids. We spent a whole day there just having a blast. And then at the end, we finished with like a magician show and pizza. And it was just awesome. It was actually really well done. And I can't remember how much it was. It was not expensive. It was really cheap, but it's just like a fun thing to do. And Orlando was full of places like this. I mean, you could go to the Kennedy Space Center. You could, you're like, you know, an hour, a little bit more, depending on where you are in the area, to Clearwater. You could drive up to Daytona Beach. Obviously, it's Florida. There's fishing everywhere, fishing charters, you know, fishing on lakes, like you name it. Like there is something for you to do here. And I think that's one of like the craziest things that people realize is like, you know, especially when they reach out to us. And even like I thought initially too, to be honest with you, when my wife first had mentioned Central Florida, you know, forever ago, you know, I had lived in here previously in the area, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's just Disney, I guess. Because when we visit here, when I used to live in New York growing up, like we just went to theme parks. That's why most people come here. It's like either the beach and theme parks, and that's it. Well, I can tell you this place is amazing. In the last 10 years, it has changed so much from that first time that the last time I remember coming out here to when we decided to make that move. Like, yes, there's theme parks. Like there's every theme park you could possibly imagine. And if you're like a theme park junkie, they're fantastic. But for this video is for those of you like me, where I'm just not a huge crowd person. I mean, yes, there are a lot of people moving here. It's crowdy. But I think what blew me away is the fact that I'm a huge, like my dad, right? Like he loves fishing. I grew up hunting, and now I get to have that as well. I get to bring that culture and doing it into my kids. If you don't like it, that's okay. Like you could easily live in Orlando and never knew that hunting or fishing was even a thing, because you know it's a city. There's theme parks. There's all kinds of stuff that fits that lifestyle. Which for you're like me in a divided household when it comes to like a wife who grew up in the city. You know, grew up in San Diego County, and then you have me, grew up more in like just a small town in the country of Western New York. You know, we're just completely different lifestyles. But now here, like we get to have both. I've mentioned it in previous videos, and like this video is all about that. Like if you love hunting, guess what? You can hunt hogs year round. And it's like, if you're all about that, then I'm telling you, like, it's awesome. Like Joe, our north, south, like heck, you're going to see them if you drive outside anywhere in Orlando, like they're here. And it's awesome. Like you can go hunting, fishing, and like you can fit it easily into your lifestyle without having to do anything crazy, on a daily basis, or separate your family entirely and take a massive trip in order to encompass any of these things. So one day you could be fishing and hunting, the next day you could be at Disney World for like a 2-day vacation. And guess what? Your vacation is at your home. It's awesome. Also, I mentioned it just now, and also it's a huge thing for some people. So like our family, we are not beach people. But the great thing about Orlando is like we get to kind of, have good living and not, the beach isn't really close by, but that's okay with us. So if you're not really a beach person, but you just love everything else that Florida has to offer, then I think that's Orlando is such a great place for anyone. But the cool thing is that, occasionally our kids love going to the beach. What kid doesn't like to build sandcastles and do craziness and just have a day in the sun? Like, come on, like you live in a tropical paradise when it's not hurricane season. Even then there's still good weather. It's something you live with. But being able to take that trip to the beach to where, like, to be honest with you, an hour to me is not that crazy. I mean, I used to live like 35 minutes from a hospital, and for a portion of our town growing up, you're just living in an area, with no supermarket either. It was like 25 minutes from a supermarket. So to me, it's like an hour easy, but it's cool because I'm not paying that on the beach price. I get to live and have everything else that we could possibly imagine. And to be honest with you, it's people come for the theme parks, and that's why there's gonna be a lot of tourist stuff in Orlando. But the cool thing is, like, there's still parts like just outside Orlando that it's expanding, and you can give all the amenities you want in the city, but kind of be tucked away, like northern Orlando, tucked away from a lot of the craziness that there is with the theme parks, because they're all gonna be closer to the 4 heading into Orlando, and it's just chaos. Also, something else actually that sparked my thought when we came to Orlando is I don't know how my wife found this, but credit to her. There was like this random animal reserve east of Orlando, heading towards like the Kennedy Space Center, but not as far. And it's awesome. Like we got to see alligators being fed. It was awesome because it was summertime at that time when we made that discovery trip in August. And we'll go back year round. I mean, it's completely amazing that we just took this trip here, and like they got to see alligators being fed. We got to hold a baby alligator. They talked about Native American history of Florida, and it's just awesome. It's just, everyone thinks of theme parks when they come to Orlando, but I promise you, if you actually care about like the real Floridians that have been here, or just the culture of the area, people that have moved here, and like there's a lot more to do and a lot more stable family life. Because like I always thought initially before moving out here, and maybe you have too, that Orlando is just like a vacation spot. It's like a second home city. I promise you, like maybe it was like that 10 years ago. It's kind of how I felt about it, but now like the times are changing. Like I'm amazed at how many good schools are here now. The culture, how people are, like it's insane. And there's really like an area around the city for everyone. It's that point in time where it's kind of before it really got crazy crowded. But I'm sure if you're living here 10 years ago, you're gonna be like, look, this is insane. There's way too many people. I get it. But for those of us coming from elsewhere, like this is like such a prime time to be a part of this changing area and really take advantage of how awesome this place really is. Also, another thing is like I said, being in Orlando, you're so central, right? Like let's say like my son is obsessed with dinosaurs, and when you head west along the 4, there is, I can't think of the name right now, but that's okay, we're just gonna keep moving. There's a theme park dedicated to I'm saying that's not a theme park, sorry, I know, video without theme parks. It's just a park dedicated to like giant dinosaurs and like the history of them. They have like little digging sites for the kids, and like I can tell you, like we have a year pass. And if you're a parent and you have kids that are obsessed on one subject, we have a year pass to this place because he just loves it. It's super well maintained. It's right off the 4. It's like Dinosaur Land or something like that. I can't remember. It's going to bother me right now, but that's okay. We go there all the time for the most part. I don't know why I keep skipping it right now, but it's amazing because we get to go there. It's just like that. But again, it's another cheap thing. It's not that expensive. You know, like, yes, like, sure, like, my wife's obsessed with Disney, and you can have the year pass at Disney and pay all that crazy money and food and all the chaos. It has its place and time. But if you're like, look, I just like doing things away from the crowds. Like me, I hate crowds. I'm not a huge fan. So everything that we do, it's like I need to have breaks where I'm enjoying time with the family, not surrounded by people. It's too much for me. So being able to take these small excursions to these fun places, and especially during the summertime, like where the tourists will die down because it's hot and muggy. Hey, if you're like me and you're like, hey, I don't even care about the weather, I'm here to have fun and enjoy life, then fantastic. Because there's so many things to do, and all these side places that aren't theme parks, like during the summer, like they're not that crowded. If you hit it at the right time, it's complete. Or some part, like your spouse is like this, you know, but you kind of prefer like to be separate from all that craziness for at least small periods of time, and you want that yin and yang. Like I haven't lived in anywhere out of all the places I've lived in my years that really kind of fits this round table of all these things to do and stuff, and it's still expanding every year, which is just absolutely insane that they could be doing more. And I'm like, I already think that we could spend the next 10 years and not hit everything that this whole area has to provide. Because yes, this is channel's about living in Orlando, but like, let's be honest, like, you're not just going to come to Orlando and never move out of your house. Like, you're going to want to explore and take vacations with your family, and you literally live in a tropical paradise. Like, how great is that? And so if you're looking to make the move and all this sounded great and you want to know more about it, or even have a one-on-one plan to figure out how you can even get here and enjoy this life that so many of us have chosen to live, then reach out to us, call, text, email, whatever you have to do. Like, our team, myself, like, we absolutely love helping people just like us that have made the move to Orlando and want to make sure that they choose the right area with the right place and set up their plan for success so they can actually enjoy the area and not come out here and just be lost in the sauce. Because I've seen it happen so many times, and it's so important to make sure you have everything dialed in and make sure if this is even the area for you. So that's you. Give us a call, text, email, whatever you have to do. We are here for you, and we absolutely love it. So without that, I wish you the best, and I will see you in the next video.